Hi guys, it's me, Miss Mary, coming in for a landing. Coming in to share some thoughts and to depart some wisdom. Anyway, today is Memorial Day. I don't know when this will get uploaded, but I'm just letting you know. And for those of you, happy Memorial's Day, and I hope things are well in your house. I hope life is treating you well. Okay? And so one other thing I do want to say is thank you to all of my new subscribers. For those people who hit like, share, and subscribe, I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping by just to say hi. And I do want to give a shout out to one person. I met her at the salon when I went to go get my hair two-string twisted, and I didn't. I just got it flat twisted so that I can just take it out and let it be curly. And her name was Eden. Thank you, Eden, for acknowledging me, for seeing me. She was in the chair with the getting her hair done, and she said, "All right." When I walked in, she said, "Are you Miss Mary?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm Miss Mary." So that felt good. So that was just motivation to keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop, keep going. You know, so oftentimes you think to yourself, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? But there is a point, and that's why I have to keep going, right? Because if Miss Mary want to die empty, she better get started making them videos, right? Just want to share. Just want to share. So anyway, I was thinking about, I'm going to do 5 things I learned from a bad marriage. And these are 5 things I learned. And let's not, and just understand this. I'm not going to say probably anything new that you probably haven't heard before. But sometimes you're in a season to hear it. Sometimes your mom and your dad could be saying the same thing. Or your cousin or your friend or somebody is telling you the same thing that you're going to hear right here today. But it's going to hit different. Maybe this time it's really, really going to sink in. You know, sometimes it's the same thing, but it's just that sometimes I think our heart has to be ready to receive a lot of things too. You know, like a person can tell me, I'm trying to think. You need to, like somebody could be telling me like, you need to drop videos. You need to do more, you need to post more videos. And then somebody else might tell me, you need to post more and you're not posting enough and stuff. But then along come somebody like Eden and says, don't stop. I enjoy your videos. And it just hit different. It really hit different, you know. Not that we all need encouragement and everybody, it's like, everybody is encouraging you and it means something. But sometimes it just falls on that, like the Bible speaks about where it falls on that. Sometimes it falls on stony ground and sometimes it'll fall on fertilized ground. And it'll just be like, oh, wow, I received that. Anyway, Miss Mary, she can get off track here. So I wanted to talk to you about 5 things I learned from being in a bad marriage. Okay? My earbuds just died, so hold on. Okay, guys, I had to pick up where I left off. I had to go and take care of my husband. So I'm back. And I was talking about 5 things that I learned from a bad marriage. Number 1 was love is not enough. Let me repeat that. Love is not enough. It's not enough. Being a good wife, cooking, cleaning, listening, that's not enough. Intimacy, it's not enough. You might think it is in the moment when you're in the middle of it. It might even make you think that it is, but it isn't. It's not enough. When you're in a bad marriage, intimacy is not enough. Cooking, cleaning, listening, it's not enough. And these things that you're going to learn when you're in a bad marriage, you can learn that you could be ever so close when it's that time for intimacy. And then once you get up out that bed, ain't nothing going on. You're like two strangers in the night, two ships passing in the night. Don't have nothing in common. Nothing. Except for you just know how to enjoy each other. So, you'll learn that in a bad marriage. Intimacy is not enough. Being a good wife is not enough. Not enough to change a person. Not enough to say, hey, let's make this work. Those things are not enough. Why those things are not enough? It's because he is who he is. Or she is who she is. And there's nothing you can do. You can't change anybody. Can't nobody change you. We have a free will that we can exercise every day to decide whether we want to change or whether we don't want to change. You know? I always tell my kids this. I don't raise kids to raise grown people. I raise kids to be grown. I don't raise grown people. I don't raise kids to raise grown people. I'm not here to raise you once you get grown. I've already did that. And you can't raise grown people. You can make suggestions. You can give your opinion, but you can't change anybody. And these are the things I learned in a bad marriage. I remember we would go to church and still do go to church. And I remember under this one organization that we were under, they had a lot of women's groups, a lot of women's workshops and teachings and stuff. And I would go and I would hear these women talk about their husbands and the things that they had done wrong or the breach that they had brought into the marriage. And some of those women got up and testified about how their husband had changed. And I remember thinking, wow, I have that kind of faith. I believe God can change anybody. But how many of you know everybody don't wear the same size shoe? Everybody don't wear the same size shoe. Which means what, Miss Mary? What works for one person might not work for you, baby. And you got to know that. You might have a friend and her husband might be going at it. Maybe 2 years ago they were at it and now they've resolved some things and now they're on the fast track and they're doing good. Be happy for her. Be very, very happy for her. But just because that worked for her don't mean it's going to work for you. Everybody don't wear the same size shoe. Nope. And we have to know that. Know what's for you and what's not for you. Another thing that I learned about being in a bad marriage is time is moving on. I looked up and I had 10 years altogether, not the whole 10 years of marriage, but altogether of dealing with them and interacting and all this stuff. It probably was more than that, but 10 years of just really solid being together. 10 years had passed. Time is moving on. You know? And when you think about time, you can't get time back. You know? So what are you going to do? when you can't get your time back. I remember I used to say that I regret the time. I never regretted the kids, never ever. But I did regret the time. The time that I wasted being in a bad relationship. But I heard somebody say, don't say that you regret the time, because in the midst of the time, you was learning something. You was learning what a good man looks like. Or basically what a bad, not a good man, but what a bad man looks like. You were learning what you didn't want. So don't regret that time, because it was a teachable moment. And boy, was it a teachable moment. Woo, it was a teachable moment. So I've learned to not say I regret the time. That's 5. And the bonus one I want to give you is this. Not trusting myself. This is something that I learned in a bad marriage. That I did not trust myself enough. And that hurts. And that just kind of, why did it take me so long to trust myself that I knew this wasn't right? It took me a long time to trust myself to make the right decision, to trust myself that I can even do it by myself, go on my own with 4 kids, you know? So these are the things that I learned in a bad marriage, and I just wanted to share them with you. I hope they resonate with you. I hope and pray that you're not in a bad marriage, and if there's a friend or someone that you know that these nuggets that Miss Mary has dropped can help. Another thing I want to say, too, is, like I said earlier, I'm not saying anything new, probably nothing that you haven't heard before, but maybe this time it's going to fall on good ground. Sometimes you hear things and it just goes over your head. But every now and then, sometimes somebody will say something at the right time that it'll change your heart. So that's what Miss Mary's trying to do. I'm just here to share, baby. Bye. So, Miss Mary, signing out. 5 things I learned in a bad marriage. Next, I'm going to give you 5 things I learned in a good marriage. How about that? Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See ya.